I still love that music every time.
Have you shortened it?
Shortened it ages ago. Like,
yeah,
long.
It's still catching me out. I'm sort of anticipating a longer jingle.
Yeah, I just get into dancing with it and then it's cut.
Yeah.
Do you think we should make it longer? Longer jingle, shorter jingle? What do we think?
We'll put it to the people.
Poll.
Put it to the people.
Poll.
A poll.
Yeah.
Make it longer or make it shorter. Hi team, how are we doing?
All good, Mike.
Who is this person? I don't recognize this.
Yeah, so the guy who used to present, this is his son.
This is his son.
No, DIY haircut and ended up cutting into the beard by mistake, so the beard's had to go. Yeah, not convinced by any of it, but...
Have you had to wear jumpers because you're colder? Or
well,
a balaclava, just to...
Feel a bit more streamlined, yeah. But, yeah, new look.
I'm going to put it in the chat. Gibbo's hair, yes or no? Let's let the...
You can't just answer yes or no to a haircut, can you? Is that it?
That's what we're
give
going
it a 1 to 10, you know? People could have a sliding scale to this.
No, brutal, yes or no. I think that's...
I'm going to get some no's. I feel like I'm going to get some tragic no's. A hard no to the lid.
I like it. I think for a DIY job, mate, I think you've done an
Oh, you've seen the back, and our viewers don't get to see that, but the back looks like it's been done with a lawnmower. But yeah.
So one, obviously, a dear friend of the show and of the 101 family, a 101 original, Mr. Joseph Gleason has already chimed in.
Of course he has.
He says he's looked better.
Thanks, Joe.
Love it.
Was just speaking so highly of Joe.
Yeah, we were saying lots of nice things about him. Well, I still think Joe's a legend.
Yeah.
Even with his baby chinos, he's still a legend. But you know,
place that under review now. He still is.
And Tess, how are you?
Yes, doing very well, thanks. I have another week of rehab complete, and yeah, on track. Feels like it's endless, but it's no, it's good. It's good. I'm feeling well, thanks.
Good. So I'm going to just one more hair thing from Gibbo before we move on.
Great.
Sponsored Flymo.
Yeah,
certainly cordless would be better.
You know, we literally just talked about what the show was for, and it's definitely a bit ironic that we think it's about giving people a good time, and it's just taking the mick out of Gibbo.
Yeah.
We might get to talk about hockey at some point, but at the moment, this is delightful.
Sorry, I did kind of set that up. My bad. Gibbo.
It's fine. No, it's good. It's good.
Anyway, right. So show 11. We've been going a little while now. What do we think? Tess, what are your thoughts so far on the first 10 shows?
Oh man, I've really loved talking to all the different guests we've had right at the beginning, being a bit of a hockey geek with you both about the goals, about the season. And we were literally just saying before we came on air that it now kind of feels like we know what our why is with the show, and it's to bring a smile to the hockey fans, help the youngsters know a bit more about the insights of what it means to be a high performing athlete, but more than that, just kind of like to connect the hockey community. And so we wanted to retitle this episode 11, We Found Our Why, because one of the key themes that has emerged throughout the last 10 episodes has been around psychological development, I think, and mental health. So we look at the nutrition one last week, even when we spoke to Tom Millington about goalkeeping, we talked about how it was about being sharp in the brain. So it feels like we kind of know what we're about now. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and I think when you said that, it's like, you're absolutely right. Like, I feel like, obviously, when we first thought of this idea of doing a show or podcast, like whatever, together, like originally, like I say, the original thing was about nerding out about the hockey and about the league and everything else. But obviously, that's not happened. And actually, I think for the better for us, because I think this has been fab. I've loved having guests on, and I think that whole just bringing a bit of a joy and having a bit of a laugh, I think is what we all need. And I think for me, this is a huge highlight of my week, chatting with you both.
Literally, what is Gibbo doing?
Yeah, I'm having. It's not. My laptop isn't in its usual position.
We're trying to be serious here, Gibbo.
That's why I went off for a little bit then, to try and get the camera right. Yeah, just we'll go with it. It's not its usual position. It's fine.
You look beautiful, mate. It's fine.
I'll just back up a bit.
I liked you where you were. You're great.
Okay, cool. But I agree with you, Mike. It would have been easy to jack this. Going back to like the show, it'd been easy to say, "Oh, the leagues aren't running. We've got nothing to talk about." So it would have been a bit of a cop out. But yeah, I'm glad we stuck at it and thought, what were we 3 weeks in when that happened, and we said, well, actually, there's lots we can do, and there's lots of people we could get on, and there's lots of things we can cover. So I'm really glad we did, to be fair. And I think we've discovered, it is what it is now. Like you said, we found our why. It's not just about the hockey. I'm sure we'll still be around when the leagues come back, whenever that is, and we can do all that cool stuff and show some clips and talk about the game. But actually, we've touched on some pretty cool areas, which hopefully help players, that have engaged with it so far.
Yeah, and the thing I've also loved is actually the people that have are now contacting us and being like, oh yeah, can I come on your show? I'd love to talk about this, that, and the other. So we've got some pretty cool guests lined up over the coming weeks, and I think that for me has been really cool. And I think the most exciting bit is actually, like we've already had, the chat that's been going through from the people watching. Like that for me makes it. That's why live is so much fun, because of the comments. I'm just looking back through them now. And Francois over the last few weeks has been good chat. I think there's been some pretty decent stuff there. So that for me has been a huge thing.
I actually forget we're live.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's.
Well, Mike sometimes actually does forget we're live, doesn't he?
Yeah. Mike, once when we tried to launch this, Mike didn't actually take us live for about 15 minutes when we thought we were.
Nope.
So
oh my goodness. The trials and tribulations of that first episode. Wow.
That was
hard. Easy just to call it a day, wouldn't it? Because we completely flunked the first episode. Then the leagues got suspended. So they've already had a few road bumps. So it would have been easy. It was a good idea, but wrong time, guys. See you next year. But no, I'm glad we've stuck at it. So what we're going to do, review season 1, as it were.
Yeah, I think so.
And introduce the tricky second album when we get around. We do that. Yeah,
go on then. So, Gibbo, what's one of the highlights for you from the guests we've had so far?
Well, I don't get to see our first guests, Rizzy and Lizzie, who I got used to get to see a lot. Don't get to see them a lot now because we don't play hockey at Loughborough at the moment, like everywhere. So that was a highlight. I know, Tess, they're your housemates, so you get to see them every day, but it was nice to, just nice to catch up with them and see them. So that was a highlight, and hear about your journeys and how things were going within England and GB as you were preparing. And it'd been probably a year since I've spoke to Neil, and I find sort of his subject, sports psychology, pretty fascinating. And his insights he's always got a unique take on something. So they would probably be right up there for me. But the people that I knew nothing about, like Joe coming on, and he's a friend of yours and amazing person who we've seen on this, and then the coaches club that we're doing on a Tuesday, it's just been wicked getting to know him. So little bits from everyone really, like goalkeeping background. Tom, massively useful, like talking about how he can support goalkeepers in and out of lockdown training. There's been loads, but seeing Izzy and Lizzie, go on, I'll be soppy and say that's my highlight.
And Tess?
I'll let them know. I found it really interesting how every guest we've spoken to has sort of made me think a little bit differently about hockey, the way I approach I guess being an athlete and a student in some ways. I found the last 7 weeks really quite self-reflective, which have been really great, especially with you two. It just feels like such a safe environment to discuss things. So, last week being able to talk about, what goes on as a youngster with nutrition. Like it's a hot topic, but it's not spoken enough about. So it was really special for us to give voice to that. But I think my highlight was probably speaking to Joe about his Antarctica expedition, because as a fellow scout, I have fully understood where he was coming from. And growing up, I used to love doing adventures like that, but I've never gone to the Antarctic. But it was nice that the adventure side of it could link to the adventure of preparing for an Olympics, and especially one that is so up in the air. So I found the parallels between training for an Antarctic expedition and training for a COVID pandemic Olympics so interesting to think about. And his attitude to training I've really taken on board. And I feel, especially in the rehab, because you never know, especially with I have a groin injury, and you don't know day to day how it's going to be. So it's that kind of uncertainty as well as the uncertainty you're in right now. So it was really refreshing speaking to someone who said that he was in the middle of nowhere. He didn't know if he knew he was going in the right direction, but he didn't know how long it was going to take until he got there. And then when he arrived, it was literally just a flagpole that he ended up knocking over. And I just thought a nice metaphor that when you actually get to the destination, it's just a flagpole.
It's just a bit of plastic.
It's just a flagpole. So you have to enjoy the grind. So I love that. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think Neil for me was amazing. Like Neil, having never met him before, I love the instant click that we had with him. I think that was brilliant. Obviously, I've really enjoyed, like, Joe is always really interesting, because I think I don't undervalue him. That's not what I mean. But I've been through a lot with him. Like, he's one of my best friends. Like, we've been on some really cool adventures together. Like, was through his entire prep for Antarctica. So it's almost like, okay, I understand it. Like, I've been through it, and I've kind of got my head around it, not to the point of where actually going and doing it. But then I loved how that's impacted a lot of people. A lot of people have actually spoken to me about the episode he's done with us, and then the time where he came and spoke on the Coaches Club, and actually how, in a similar way to you, like how the way he sees things is the same but different. Like, you can see
he was like, is it a hockey stick or a hockey bat? And we were like, it's a hockey stick.
He's such
but thanks for being on our hockey show. Yeah,
exactly. It's not work. They don't get out much in Mid Wales. Like, it's a dark place. But and I think just seeing how that's kind of inspired other people in different ways. And I know the guys from the Coaches Club took tons from him, which I thought was brilliant. And Hattie last week, again, that nutrition stuff. And the thing I loved about Hattie was the way she spoke, and it was in a really normal way. Like, sometimes you can get specialists and it becomes like you feel like they know so much, and then they talk on that level. But I felt like, okay, you can tell she knows a huge amount. She's amazing at what she does, but spoke very normally. And actually, I think that's huge. And I think that was really cool. But I think Neil was pretty cool for me. I really liked the way he saw stuff, and again, I liked how it was delivered in a way in which we could really get our heads around. Almost like I felt like it connected really well with me, and I know he said some really cool stuff which connected with you, Tess. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting, and he kind of linked quite nicely to what Tom Millington was talking about. I found it so I don't know, it was so refreshing to hear from from a goalkeeper coach, because as a forward, you kind of are obsessed with people, players on your outfielders, and to get a goalkeeping perspective and to kind of like know what they're thinking really helps it. And one of the things that we joked about was that goalkeepers are human and not just like a wall. And sorry to any goalkeepers, that's a really harsh thing to say, but when you're when you're shooting, you often just think of the styrofoam, you know, but if you understand that they've got pressures and anxieties as well, then it's quite helpful as a striker.
I'll not share who or where, but I heard goalkeepers referred to as dartboards before, which I thought was quite interesting. You can't say that. How many dartboards do we have today? Excuse me. Oh, goalkeepers. Is that what you meant? Okay.
I also need to make an apology. So, sorry, Lee. Yes, I understand that it probably is lovely and sunny in Mid Wales at the moment. So I do apologise for those listening from Mid Wales at the moment. It's a lovely.
Yeah, apologies to Welsh and apologies to goalies for the last 5 minutes.
Doing really well here, team.
They're not the views of the 101 show.
Yeah, so so for you then, Gibbo, like, what do you want to see? What are you excited about then? I think we've had some really cool guests on so far. Like, what are you looking forward to from a 101 show point of view, but also kind of a life point of view now that we feel like there's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, so this medium term, I guess, short to medium term, when we can train again, we'll do some form of like summer training at Loughborough when we can. So through the spring and early part of the summer, before people had to exams and go home, we'll definitely maximise our pitch time and what we can do with the group for sure. And that'll be superb. And whatever that looks like from a competition perspective, we'll engage with, and whatever's safe to do, we'll engage with. But the main thing is just getting back out on the pitch in your own environment, actually, because that's probably what I've missed the most, and what conversation with players is what they've missed the most. So that's obviously going to be really important. And for some of our students, it's going to be like their last hockey block will be that before they do exams. So it'd be nice for the returns of the leavers to get that and not finish with, you know, your league suspended and then nothing happened, then you left kind of thing. So that'll be pretty nice. We've got the 101 Academy starting in late April, which is super cool. And the first one up at Doncaster. It's going to be wicked. Can't wait. And we're announcing like the staff and stuff as we go, and that'll be really nice. So got some, you know, coaches to look forward to there. Golf course opening night, dare I say. I know it's a different sport, but that'll be quite good. I'm looking forward to a bit of golf.
Joe Gleason, sorry to talk about Joe Gleason again, is missing the golf course tremendously.
Oh,
he's beside himself. He's massively struggling. He needs his golf.
No, golf has been rough. Really rough. And then I go with a walker go and you get to see people are fishing. And they go, come on. I mean, the way I golf, I'm not near anyone anyway. I see parts of the golf course where there's nobody. So, pardon?
The bunker.
Oh, further afield. Very close to the
out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't play social golf at all.
We played a wee golf and it just goes.
Yeah. That, I mean, that's sometimes, yeah. Wild.
I just enjoy the walk.
Exactly. Good walk spoiled. So looking forward to that. And then from the show, it'd be nice to get people back on for round 2, because I think like even with like the shows that have gone over an hour, you only really scratch the surface with guests. So definitely checking with people we've seen. It'd be good to get people from different coaching backgrounds to us. So we've had Brett on from a coaching background, but he'd be really quite similar to me, and like generationally quite similar to you, Mike, as well. So it's sort of, we're all kind of similar. We're all from similar-ish backgrounds, I guess, like in the clubs we will have grown up at, and then the coaching we'll have done. So people from different countries, maybe people from even younger coaches. There's some really exciting young coaches out there. I say young at 30, the people much younger than me coaching. So it'd be good to give them a chance to come on and chat about their budding journeys and stuff like that. And just hearing from more really good specialists that'll add value to people who tune in. So, like, if you have a thought on that and you do watch, like, the names keep coming up, don't they? Lee, Ian, Joe, Francois, you guys that check in every week. If there's things you want to see, let us know and we can try.
Yeah, for sure. And Tess?
Yeah, just starting with the show stuff. I'm just super excited to meet more people. I feel like I'm really getting to, well, I felt already knew quite a lot of people in the hockey community, but I feel like it's expanding even more. And the hockey family nature is, well, it's now extended to people who don't even know what hockey is, but it's great. Like being able to meet new people, learn from them, and like just chat how we can be, I guess, better players and better people is really cool. I'm excited for a special, no spoilers, but International Women's Day special should be pretty exciting. Is that next week?
That's next week.
Yeah. So look out for that one. And then I'm just really excited to chat hockey leagues when it all kicks off. Don't know when it will officially, but there's gonna be so much drama about like what's gonna happen. I know from a women's prem point of view, we're like, do we get to finish our games? Like, what's going to happen with the rankings? Because some people have played loads, some people haven't. So it's going to be really exciting to see what happens. And then, yeah, it will be in the other leagues as well, what's going on there. So it'll be really interesting to talk about.
Yeah, there'll be a resolution one way or another. It will be new structure, people going to the divisions that they're going into under that new structure of the conferences anyway. Promotion, relegation, there'll be a resolution. It'll just be interesting to see what the lay of the land is for next year, whether another game is played, I guess. Even without any more hockey to be played, there will still be a little bit of things to talk about and change. And then it'll be all eyes on next year. So there'll be some really, I imagine we'll do some pretty good stuff coming like through the late summer, that pre-season time. Like, dare I say, take some predictions from people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goal scorer type stuff. Yeah.
Do you know what? We could actually start our own little fantasy league, maybe. Hockey doesn't have one. I've just dropped a bomb there for my.
Yeah, you have. The EHL do one.
Be a geek about.
Yeah, the EHL did one, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
We've had Brett on, and Brett did very well in that globally. I think Brett got in the top 5 one year in that globally. And there was thousands of people doing it. Still a bit of a yeah, he was top in the world for a little bit. He'll be able to say what he did, but I think going into the final game, he was top. And someone from the continent picked him, a European chap. But he was, he was right up there. But yeah, a fantasy league would be great. Do we have, how would you do that? Would you do an app? Do you want to do an app? Is that beyond Mike's IT capabilities?
Yes, that is beyond Mike's. Mike's got good to average to good.
We're hoping some coders are listening. So, but I don't know. You could start with a template that can be more manually run, and then once you see that it's got potential and people are interested in it, then you can take that to R&D. I reckon
that'd be fun.
Just spoken like a true CEO. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
CEO of Free Solo Hockey.
One for after the show. I think that. Let's.
If anyone has ideas, though.
So we've got a couple of things in here. So Paul said, "Would be interesting to hear from someone on the men's GB program."
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can certainly do that. This isn't about the show, but Ian's the sound of it. Instead of constant tippy tap from the small stick and ball work in the garden, looking forward to actually hearing the ball get nailed and played over distance. Probably also spoke to a parent the other day, and they're very excited to get their skirting boards back in good nick and redecorated after a year of lockdown and playing off the skirting boards. So I imagine there'll be a few parents looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I like the idea of that. Yeah, a fantasy league predictions, transfer window. Yeah, we can make this cool. Any other ideas, please drop them in the comments. Let us know and we can make this happen. We can make dreams come true here. That's what we're there for.
Who does that Hockey Rumours Twitter page? They always make me laugh. That's been up for. Do you know that? Like,
yeah, I think I know who does it.
When Tess moved down south, they might have done a tweet like, "Oh, which London clubs GB star Tess Howard going to join?" And they'll do a poll or something. Like, for example, do they? I remember looking at who is this person that does this and gets.
I've heard rumours of who it is.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it used to be. They were probably more like active maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But the sort of thing they would tweet about is where a player like you would go. You know, that might, yeah.
Wow,
yeah. I followed them for a bit and just like, I was like, looking at it, what?
It's good chat.
You're right as well. I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Rumour has it.
We're getting just a blurred screen and like a deep fake voice. Like they're in witness protection or something. That'd be good. Get them on.
Oh man. Yeah, excited. Just going back on Tessa's point, excited for in terms of International Women's Day episode next week. I think that's going to be a very cool episode, and I think it's something which obviously we talked about a lot about in the build up, and I think it could actually be really. I think it's going to be a nice episode, and I think super excited about the guest. So yeah,
it's going to be mega.
It's going to be mega. So
and Tess is guiding us on this one in like agenda, aren't you? The agenda items. Is that right?
Yeah. No pun intended.
Our planning details. It's just a WhatsApp thread, to be fair, guys. We don't do much else than Thursday evening start saying what we're going to do tomorrow.
I think off the cuff, the way to go.
Yeah.
Here we go. From Ian, want to have a 101 Fantasy Hockey League for the Pro League next season.
That's a great shout.
Oh yeah, or a Euros Olympics one. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be
we'll catch up after this.
A great time to test it if it works.
Say again.
A tournament would be a great time to see how it works before you commit to a season.
Well, there was a European one.
That one was good.
Yeah, last 2 years ago. Yeah, that's
really one Brett was the nearly winner of, which he still reminds me of because I was in the basement somewhere.
I tanked in that. Yeah.
I made a team and then I thought probably shouldn't be making a team.
So
this was before the Euros starts, so everybody knows. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, and then I realized I was actually in it, so I was like, no, this is weird.
Yeah.
Me.
Although Premier League football, they got in trouble. There was a bit of an interesting one this week. Premier League footballers have fantasy teams, and apparently that's how Aston Villa's team news got leaked. That some of the Villa players have fantasy teams. They took Grealish out because he's injured, and they knew he was injured, and the press didn't, and that's kind of how it got out. Someone was saying.
Oh wow!
So Villa, they've sort of said, "No, you can't play fantasy football anymore," which is an interesting one.
Yeah, it's funny.
Tess takes herself out because she knows she's not playing. Triple captains herself because you've been told you're playing centre forward. Bit of insider trading going on.
I don't even understand how fantasy leagues work, to be honest. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this.
Well, Mark, you've got friends in high place at the FIH, so surely they should be thinking of a global product for this. And we just take a cut.
I would hope they could do something off the back of the Watch Hockey app because I love that app, and I think it's so good to help build hockey. Yeah.
It's good. Sorry, just looking at the comments. Get Gibbo to give us a spin.
No, Paul. I take requests, but that's just ridiculous. Like I said, it's a Flymo job. It's not good. It's not good.
And then, can you want international umpires on for a chat?
Yes. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, we're blessed. We've got a few good ones in this country.
Yeah.
A couple of good ones local to me, actually, that might be up for it. A couple of Yorkshiremen.
So Rebecca, forget her surname, but Rebecca is one of the international umpires now. He's umpired a lot of the Pro League games, and he umpired my first under-16 tournament,
Mhm.
and she was on our bus on the way there, and we ended up having a bit of a life chat on the way back. And so it's so weird that she was a junior umpire at that time,
Yeah.
reffing the under-16s, and now she's reffing the seniors. It's really cool. Sorry, umpiring, not reffing.
Shen has said on this umpiring thread, Keely done.
Yeah. She's ace. So Keely's. Why do I know? Keely Kay used to come over and do national schools, but Keely's Canadian, right?
Yes.
He has the umpiring Twitter page. He's been on a few podcasts before, maybe with other people, and had a chat about officiating. Yeah, but I remember, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she came over and umpired at our national schools for a couple of years when it used to be at Cannock. I might be imagining that. Maybe Keely can confirm. We'll get to watch, but I'm pretty sure she did.
So Keely, I know, listens to this as a podcast.
Yeah.
He does listen to the show.
Yeah.
Touch base about it. So
She'll be a great guest.
Yeah, and I think we can let's get that going. Yeah, I guess from my point of view, in terms of people that I'm excited, like more guests, I think that's been revolutionary for us. I think I really enjoyed my season 1 for Sport 101, where I was doing the traditional podcast, and actually having guests on again has really transformed that. And actually, I've been I love chatting to people. I love chatting to people anyway, but I love having guests on and hearing your guys' questions as well makes it way more interesting for me, because I feel like I'm a guest as well. I get to listen in and be a part of the show, and I think that's really fun, instead of it just being me and one other person. So definitely want to get more guests on. I'm really interested to can we get more engagement from the guys listening? Definitely want to have more of your guys' input. I think that really makes the show, and definitely makes it way more interesting from our point of view when we get that chat going. So definitely more from you guys. And I'm excited to do some tournament episodes or Olympic episodes or whatever. And I think that's going to be really, really fun when we get into the nitty gritty and we get to, be badgers about the game. That's definitely something I'm absolutely buzzing for.
I think you've made it as a podcast or a show when people when something happens in the world that you're sort of involved in, and people tweet you and get in touch and say, we need an emergency podcast. That's when you've made it. So a couple of podcasts I listen to, something will happen. I don't know, it'll be in the Six Nations, it'll be we need an emergency pod to talk about this. And that's when you've made it. So if you ever feel like you need an emergency podcaster, guys, please do let us know. We'll see if it can be available at short notice.
Definitely. Well, because the other option for an emergency pod is Instagram Live.
Yeah, just go live.
Just go live. And you can only have 2 people on though, can't you?
Yeah, I think so.
So
who's your favorite?
Tess, it's you. It's fine. I can deal with it. I'll just watch live.
Be tag team, just tagging them out. Each on a 5-minute rota, one of us gets kicked off, and someone else gets brought in. Here we go. Indoor hockey focus chat. Be good for when that comes back around.
Excellent point.
Yes.
I know I'm just the man who I'd like to get involved potentially with that. So get some European influence on there. National League and Prem coaches watching. Can be more richer and feel compared to international. So actually get some more guys that are not from the super top end, but some decent coaches. I think that'd be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Shen, are you angling for an entry? Shen is the head coach for St Albans, who are in the National League. So
yeah.
Shen was one of my first JRPC coaches. I don't know if you knew that, Mike.
I think you mentioned that a little while ago. Yeah, I think that was an off-air chat. So
cool.
We have a lot of love for Shen.
Yeah.
Lee Marshall, someone from the S&C side of things.
We could do that.
That could be good.
I mean, I don't want to turn it into another Loughborough Sport podcast, but we've got a couple of good options at our place.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to not talking about Loughborough.
Yeah. I mean, there's me every week, and then I've had 2 colleagues on, so I probably should cool my jets on that one a little bit. So.
And I didn't. Oh, Shen. It was a pleasure working with you. Lots of loving.
Where it starts.
Didn't Tom Millington go to Loughborough as well?
He did.
Oh my God, we're back to that. Wow.
He did many moons ago. He did. His picture's up in the pavilion still. One of the teams that he was in won Bucks Gold. So his picture's up. Yeah. Sorry, Tess.
It's all right. It's fine.
Maybe we should get some EG guests on.
Yes, for balance.
No, they're too busy.
Or Durham. Durham S&C, someone should say.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'd like to get
Yeah,
I'd like to get Crackles on, Fiona Crackles.
Mhm.
Yes.
She's
Great.
good. She's good chat.
I'll leave that one for you.
One day. Yeah.
Cool. So next week, International Women's Day episode. I guess we'll obviously be putting all the information out about who our special guest is later. When do you want to announce that, Tess?
TBC.
TBC. It will come out soon. And then next week we will stay at normal time of 5 o'clock. But just so everybody knows, when lockdown and everything starts to get lifted, we will be moving to a 6 o'clock time in the UK. But for next week, we're going to stay at 5 o'clock, normal time for next week, and then we will move on from there. Guys, totally random episode, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
It's nice. It's like the end credits to the first album. This.
Yeah.
That's what this was.
It's the outro.
Yeah, exactly. And the next one is it's like season 2. So you have to like put S2 Ep1.
So season 2 starts next week.
Yeah, we're not having any sort of break. We're just sort of going through, but this feels like a natural.
I think that's good. Yeah. 10 episodes per season. That makes sense.
10 episodes, a random episode recapping, and then 10 more. Okay, so we're going into season 2.
And what would make, we're having a workshop live on air trying to improve the podcast live, which is controversial, but what would have made this episode even better, Mike, is if we clipped up little bits from the episode so far and made a highlights package of the best bits and the best insights from season 1.
Well, when we do our recap of season 2,
there you go.
You could sports code all the episodes, mate.
Yeah, I know. I've actually used sports code on some documentaries to pull out bits I like for some sessions I do. So it's not what it's intended for, but hey, it works. Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Tess?
No, keep smiling, everyone. Almost there. Almost there.
We are nearly there. Guys, thank you very much. I say short and sweet. We're like, yes, we're going to stick to half an hour, 38 minutes. We are rubbish at sticking to time, but we had a good time. That's the main thing. Thank you all very much. Thank you so much for all the guys that put in. Sorry we haven't managed to get through everybody. Georgie Pugh, get some of the Welsh influences in from Welsh hockey. Yes, we can definitely speak to the Welsh guys and get them involved. So yes, there's plenty of others, but thank you so much for this episode. Thank you for season 1. What a ride. It's been a lot of fun. Definitely a highlight for the week for me. And guys, I will see you next week. Have a fabulous weekend. And I will see you guys very soon.
Bye, team.
Bye, team.